Wow, UFC's TJ Dillashaw gets a 2-year suspension for testing positive failed PED test from his last fight. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. ESPN, shout out to them. Link in the description. They have a write-up, and it's not good news for TJ Dillashaw. As you guys see, USADA suspends Dillashaw 2 years for EPO use. USADA has suspended former UFC champion TJ Dillashaw for 2 years for testing positive for recombinant human EPO prior to his flyweight title fight against Henry, January 19th. In a fight he lost by knockout. So that's even worse, you know, to lose. And then you still, you know, this is crazy. USADA officials announced the suspension, which Dillashaw did not contest on Tuesday. The news comes less than 1 month after Dillashaw willingly relinquished his bantamweight championship, which the UFC would have almost certainly stripped him of based on Tuesday's announcement. So basically he had to get rid of the belt. We all know the pressures to win at all levels of the sport are real and intense, said USADA CEO Travis Tigert in a release statement. It is exactly why strong anti-doping efforts are necessary to protect clean athletes' rights, health, and safety, and to ensure that those who do succumb to these pressures and decide to break the rules will be held accountable in a real and meaningful way, as in this case. The 2-year suspension is the maximum sanction for a non-specified substance under the UFC's anti-doping program. It is dated retroactively to January 18th, so, you know, he has a couple months served, like time served, the day the test was submitted. EPO is a peptide hormone used to stimulate red blood cell productions. It is typically administered via intravenous injection. Dillashaw is the second UFC fighter to test positive for EPO since the UFC and USADA partnered in 2015, right? And it says, I'm quite familiar with EPO from my days investigating professional cycling teams, UFC Vice President Jeff said. He said it is a very effective substance. It's not a substance you find in contaminated supplements. It's injectable only. You have to know what you're doing when it enters your system. On a scale of seriousness and anti-doping, it's up near the top. Dillashaw suffered a first-round knockout loss to Henry in the flyweight title fight, which was historic in that Dillashaw was attempting to become the first active champion to drop down in weight to capture a second belt. His team did not immediately respond to requests for a compliment. The New York State Athletic Commission issued Dillashaw its own 1-year suspension for the failed drug test. Dillashaw will serve the suspensions concurrently. Dillashaw is 33. He's ranked number 10 pound for pound. He's a 2-time UFC bantamweight. You know, he beat Cody Garbrandt, etc. Wow, very serious stuff. You know, horrible news, but you know, the truth came out, and this is a bad look. You know, it taints the legacy. You got to go back to the Cody Garbrandt pair of wins with TJ Dillashaw and wonder. You know, you got to understand, just because people don't get caught doesn't mean they're not doing something. You know, people get caught when they get caught, and you know, it just kind of puts an asterisk by the great things that he had done in competition. You know, when you hear something like this, because EPO is serious. I think that's the one where Shane Mosley, I think he was on EPO. They said he unknowingly was taking it or whatever. He had to testify for it and all types of stuff. But EPO has been around. It's, you know, it's going to remain around in the black market and stuff like that. And, you know, this is just, I mean, I have no words. And then on top of that, you know, you did some weird stuff like trying to go down in weight to get a title, and then you get knocked out. You know, I'm sure the weight cut was hard, stuff like that. So you felt that, you know, this just the worst combination of events for a fight. You know, you take something to win the fight, and then it backfires horribly by you. You know, it might be, you know, if you believe in karma, which I do, you know, it could even be karma. Like, you did all this, you try to cheat the system, and then you get knocked out. You know, on top of that, the truth comes out. That's just like the worst combination. It'd be one thing, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, even if you won the fight, but you got, as it sits, you're 33, and your last performance that you could show the world so far was a knockout loss, and now you can't fight until you're 35. You know, horrible. You know, I hope he has a good amount of money saved and was being responsible in that regard, because, you know, it's not like fighters want to get a job at Bed Bath & Beyond when they've been professionally fighting at the top levels in boxing or UFC or something like that. So that's basically 2 years without pay. You know, you think the UFC is going to give him a commentary gig or something next to Daniel Cormier while he's serving the suspension? No. So he's going to have to find other ways to make money or live off of what he already has, or whatever the case is. But that's your livelihood. That's why fighters got to think about the responsibilities. Props to USADA. I think, you know, if we really want to clean up the sport, they need to start doing these long suspensions and stuff like that, harsh punishments, like a 3 strikes program, or, you know, 2 strikes or whatever. And if you keep testing positive for something, then you just get a lifetime ban. You know, you can't compete in any state, stuff like that. You know, USADA, I think, did the right thing with the, you know, a 2-year ban, which is the maximum. They're just, because I guess they're looking at it like EPO is you intentionally took this because it's injectable. You know, something that you would inject, rather than, you can't use, like Canelo said in boxing, he went to Mexico and there's a history of the beef being contaminated. So you couldn't even fall back on that. EPO is a different beast. It's a different thing. So, you know, the other thing, not that this matters in hindsight, but it's just something that I think about, is TJ Dillashaw had a lot of back and forth with certain people, you know, like Demetrius Johnson, in boxing, namely Gervonta Tank Davis, stuff like that. You also give them reason to, you know, celebrate during your downfall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were going in about fighting Tank, and you would beat him and stuff like that, and then now you're up against it. You know, meanwhile he's making money, about to have a Baltimore hometown fight, stuff like that. Like I said, not that that matters too much, but, you know, why give your enemies or your rivals something to be happy about? Let me know what you guys think. You know, bad news for TJ Dillashaw's legacy and career. You know, we'll see if he comes back. He'll probably be 35, 36, somewhere in there, depending on when his birthday is. And I don't think there's like suspensions like that. I don't think they let you off early, like how you can get out of prison for good behavior. You know, I don't remember anyone who had a 2-year suspension and then, because what is the good behavior? There's really no good behavior, because you're not in competition, so they don't know if you would cheat again or whatever. So in my experience, I've seen people serve the full suspensions. Shout out to ESPN for the write-up and the information. Just breaking bad news for TJ Dillashaw. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.